Zach's helped me get a ton of my targets so far here in Louisiana. He mentioned to me that he's been looking for this one kind of really rare salamander for a long time. Now, I'm not a salamander expert by any stretch of the means, but after all the help he's given me, the least I can do is be an extra pair of eyes on this expedition.
Louisiana is not always the best place for salamanders, but some of these more northern parts of Louisiana, you are going to see some really nice environments for salamanders. Basically where we're going to be going, we're going all downhill from here, and we're going to be looking kind of around a hardwood biome for red salamanders and mud salamanders. There are also duskies and two-lines, but really we're going to a spring. So it's not just this hardwood biome that these salamanders live in. You have to go to where the water is coming out of, like straight out of the ground, essentially.
We're heading into pretty much uncharted territory. He's been to this place a couple times. I definitely don't know this terrain at all. I think it's gonna be pretty interesting to see, you know. This is sort of newer for him, where so far on the trip I've been learning how to catch stuff that he's already familiar with. I think, you know, getting a chance to see how he approaches a new target he's never caught before will help me a ton on my future journeys.
All right, so quick safety briefing, because we are dealing with an endangered species that really only lives in one spot. Put all logs back. If you're gonna flip a log and it's like it feels like it's coming apart, just leave it. You know, we don't want to rip anything apart, obviously. Wet your hands. There's gonna be a little spring up here that you can wet your hands by, because we don't want to touch them without wetting our hands. And even while you're handling them, just kind of like constantly dip them down. And have fun. We're gonna see a lot of salamanders for sure, and hopefully our two targets.
All right, awesome. When I tell you this is like a needle in a haystack, this is different than the snakes and stuff we've looked for so far, you know. Zach knows that this spot should be home to the mud salamanders and the red salamanders. They're both endangered, both super rare. We found one larval mud, so they're definitely here. But a little tiny larva is not enough for him. He wants a big, fully developed adult. And the problem with that is even the research teams that he's been out here working with, they haven't seen a fully fledged adult in years. This is not a guaranteed animal. Lots and lots of duskies so far. I never thought I would see the day where I would say, I want to find something other than duskies. But we are, in fact, looking for a rather endangered species, so it makes sense that they'd be rare, and it makes sense that in a habitat where they live, that there would be millions of the common species. We're muddy, we're hot, tired, no sign of any mud salamanders. Couple more spots along this boardwalk, but it's not looking good. Yeah.
If he is here today, he's like, he does not mess around. Dusky. There he is. Red. Did he beat me? I think he beat me. He does not mess around. Dang it.
So I didn't see it. You know, that little clip there is the only sighting of a red salamander we actually had. All right. First spot was a bust. No muds, no reds here. So next spot.
Next spot we will get reds.
That's a Zachary Gray guarantee.
Have I missed one yet? Have I missed a Zachary Gray guarantee? Yeah, I don't think so.
No, even the copperhead wasn't a guarantee. You got us that one. So
Exactly.
he's optimistic about finding a red salamander, but I can hear it in his voice. Like he really wanted that mud. And the thing is, we're wrapping up here at the spring, and this is the only spot that he's even seen the larvae. So I don't like our odds of finding a mud salamander yet. And I mean, I know it's not guaranteed, but I'm really kind of bummed, you know? He's helped me out a ton, and I haven't been able to help him get his dream salamander. Well, hopefully we'll still get a red. At least then the trip won't be a total bust. I already see stuff moving around. A little bitty salamander of some kind. That's promising.
Lift the, okay.
Oh, wow.
big old red. Wow, he is a lot slimier than I would have expected. Come here. Yes, rinse yourself off. Very good. Very good. Nice. So this guy is a southern red salamander, a fairly endangered species. So luckily, Zach has proper permitting for us to be working with them. And these guys are incredible looking. It's a little bit wonky to work with here because he wants to go back into his little seep over here and not be handled too much. And we want to make sure we keep this segment as short as possible just for this amphibian's health. I'm keeping my hands super wet. You can see they're just covered in mud, water, and his slime. I'm just going to make this as safe an interaction as possible because he needs to keep his skin nice and moist. As long as he's moist, he's gonna be able to breathe just fine. These guys are a lungless salamander, just like your duskies, 2 lines, 3 lines. So these guys need to keep their skin wet at all times. He has this incredible little face. It almost looks like if you flattened or rounded out the face of a dusky. His eyes, if I had seen this and not known much about salamanders, his eyes alone would make me think dusky. But he's got that really rounded, really cute face, and then all that spotting and that really almost like pinkish tan color is what tells you this is a southern red salamander. Absolutely gorgeous, super rare find. Honestly, we gotta protect these guys because they are disappearing, and I can tell you firsthand, they are gorgeous little animals, and we want to keep these guys around for as long as possible. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back underneath his log, and we're gonna see if we can find anything else out here.
This was different. This was different. You know, the snakes and the spiders were super easy. Some of them took more work than others, but you know, they all paid off eventually. This search wasn't a total failure. We got 1 of 2 endangered species, and the thing is, like, everything we've targeted before, some of them are pretty elusive, but none of them are actually like endangered. Like, these are populations that are actually dwindling, so they are significantly rare. And seeing how Zach works in person, like, if you watch his videos, you've probably seen his knowledge in presentation, but you know, watching him, he can read the environment like nothing I've ever seen. The way that he's able to tell what can live there is a skill that I'm hoping to develop myself at some point. This guy's next level. And the thing is, with the way that he goes after this stuff, he's gonna get a Louisiana mud eventually. It didn't happen today. It might not happen tomorrow, but he'll get it. You know, they're out there somewhere, lurking in, you know, under a log in a spring somewhere in this little park that we were visiting. He'll get one. He'll get one.